was meant for a theatre release. Salman Khan films are a certain kind of films, and they are a celebration, especially on Eid. Is my ability to adapt to the script, the genre, whether it's a big commercial film, indie film, action film, to create all these varied characters, and Rana in Radhe is one of them. We take social media for too seriously. It's very easy to write a comment and do something opposite. You don't have to listen to everybody's opinion, but some opinions do matter, and my family is one of them. Hi, this is Randeep Hooda, and you're watching me on E-Times.
Hi, this is Amina Sheikh, and with me today I have Randeep Hooda, who has impressed us with his role in Monsoon Wedding, and ever since he's been working in the industry for 20 years with different roles. Welcome, Randeep Hooda, on E-Times Online.
Thank you very much for welcoming me again, Samina. Thank you.
And talking about Radhe, it released recently during Eid, and it's a Salman Khan film, and you have worked with him in the past also in Sultan and Kick. Tell us about your experience of working in this movie and playing a different character altogether. Who's a vigilant character?
Well, it was the darkest, broadest black stroke that I have ever played. And it was fun. It was a very simple way of working. Me and Prabhudeva had a chat, and he says we'll go step by step, scene by scene, and that's how we went about it. In this also, I got to work with some Korean fight directors and some South Indian fight directors, totally opposite styles. But again, it was a new learning experience for me. And with that Extraction releasing last year and this releasing this year, it's like I've become a pandemic action star, So it was good experience. It was great. It was fun. And we had a lot of laugh doing it.
And of course, it's an action movie and completely action oriented, but also this movie released in theaters in this pandemic. How does that make you feel? Because of course, many people, while they're struggling also, they are also wanting to watch a lot of movies because that somewhere changes the focus of a person.
Yeah, it takes your mind off the gloomy situation around you. Yes. Well, I'm again, one can only be grateful that we are able to provide this entertainment and take people's mind off for a couple of hours. It was meant for a theatre release. Salman Khan films are a certain kind of films, and they are a celebration, especially on Eid. So that did not happen, but some places it did release on big screen. People have liked it. I'm very glad, that I knew very clearly what I was getting into. And over the years, what has held me in good stead is my ability to adapt to the script, the genre, whether it's a big commercial film, indie film, action film, who's it directed by. So for me to adapt to that has helped me to create all these varied characters. And Rana in Radhe is one of them. And I quite enjoyed my knife work. In fact, I read one of the memes, it said that Randeep Hooda is going to win us a medal in the vegetable cutting Olympics with his knife skills.
Randeep, do you personally enjoy these memes which keep on, coming on social media and the kind of content, the humorous kind of content?
Yeah, memes are, a way of lightening the situation, and they're basically jokes with pictures. So yeah, jokes are good always, and one should have the ability to laugh at oneself. I think as over my 20-year journey, over the years, that's one thing that I have learned is to laugh at myself more and more, because it is what it is.
That's quite nice, of course, that you enjoy laughing at your own self, but some people do get offended. I'm quite happy to know that you enjoy that. But Randeep, even though you enjoy the sense of humor, what has seen on social media, many times the trolling somewhere affects the business of movies. Do you somewhere agree with this?
I don't think so. We take social media for too seriously. It's very easy to write a comment and do something opposite in real life. You know what I mean? So no, you cannot take it to heart, and somewhere keep one ear on it and then move on. Everybody worked hard on the movie, and everybody has an opinion about it. So one just looks at it and moves on and does the next thing. So, and as far as business is concerned, I don't know. I mean, the movie seems to be doing well.
Randeep, you have also done romantic roles, in the past, and those movies, of course, have also, picked up. And you have done action-oriented. Which kind of genre attracts your attention?
Character studies are my favorites, but no genre really. Like I've just done a comedy in Unfair and Lovely because I wanted to just break the thing. What I do is if something I've not done and it comes to me and I like it, I'll do it. Whether it is Bombay talkies, whether it is an extraction or or Radhe. If something I've not done and I've got a meaty part in it, uh, I'll attempt it because that varied work is what makes the work interesting. I've never been a fan. I mean, I personally don't believe in looking the same way, saying the same lines. And I think that's why there are very less parodies of me out there because it's hard to pin me down. And I take that as a compliment. And yeah, so I'll do something which I've never done for sure.
Randeep, tell us about your journey in Bollywood. 20 years, and you have seen a lot of ups and downs, and you have done different roles. How does that feel?
Well, it feels great. I'm very grateful. I did not know that it will carry on for so long, though since I was a child, I wanted to be an actor. And I got Monsoon Wedding through an audition, standing in a line, and that kind of started my journey. And then after Monsoon Wedding, I watched it on screen in Venice, and it won the Leonardo Award over there. And I thought that I did not do very well. So I didn't take up any other movie projects, and Nasir Bhai was very kind enough to, let me be a part of his troupe and his workshops over the years. So I joined there, and then from there, from making 250 rupees per show, to then subsequently doing movies, and it has been quite a journey of lots of ups and downs, lots of hits and lots of misses, and but I've enjoyed every role. I've enjoyed every little script, every director that I've worked with. I worked with more than 20 first-time directors, and it's been a very explorative journey. And I've taken many breaks in between where I've, in industry, they say, dikhta hai to dikhta hai. So I have been out of the public eye for long periods of time and then have come back, and filmmakers have shown interest in me and cast me, and, um, which I'm more grateful than being, having a chip on my shoulder about it, because it easily could not have been so. So all these things put together, I think I'm in a good place now. 20 years later, I am getting an action star image, which is like an overhaul of all the dramatic and varied character building work that I have done. So it's great. Life couldn't be better.
Randeep, as a child, did you always wanted to be an actor?
Yes, I always wanted to be an actor. I was, in our school, they didn't show us Hindi movies. They showed us only English movies every Saturday or a play. And I used to, after watching it in the evening on Saturdays, before going to dinner or after dinner, I'll sneak off on my own under the trees somewhere and try and play out those characters, walk like them, talk like them, imagine I am them sitting in class. So I always had this. And then I did a lot of dramatics in acting and direction on stage in school. But then, of course, I lost touch with it for many years. And then, one used to imagine while driving cabs that one day I'll be an actor, standing in front of some movie hall to pick up other people your age. One would say, one day I'll be on the poster. So I always had that thing about me about performing arts. Yes.
Randeep, you have, of course, done different kind of roles. But as a person, would you describe yourself as an introvert or an extrovert or an ambivert?
What was the last one?
Ambivert, who is a mixture of both.
I'm a mixture of both. I'm a mixture of both. I'm very extroverted at times and very introverted at times, but um, I'm an observer. I always am trying to learn something or the other, some skill or the other.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I'll be the third one, ambivalent.
Ambivert.
Ah, yes, that one.
And when it comes to talking about the current generation, who has been, someone who has inspired you the most? Someone's career journey in the current generation, like Ranveer Singh, Ranveer Kapoor, and all these people. Of course, you're not old. I'm not trying to call you old, but the current generation, what?
Well, they're all good at what they do, and one is not really looking for inspiration
Mm.
over there. I'm looking more for inspiration in real life, but they have admirable careers, and I'm very happy for them. I wish them all the best. But I'm more interested in what I'm doing, like an actor. There's a bit of a a bit of a, blinkers on, because the journey is with, or the competition or journey or comparison is what you were yesterday and what you are yourself today. So it's more to do with one's own journey as an artist. Uh, but you're in part of a business, so you're artist in business. So yeah, everybody makes best of the opportunities they get.
Do you feel like, do you believe in competition? Do you somewhere like see that, okay, I have to compete, and or like, do you believe in competing only with yourself and
I,
just like,
I like competition in sports, really.
mm,
I do show jumping and I compete. I've got been, fortunate enough to win a few national medals. Movies is more opinion based.
mm,
It can be manipulated into something which it's not, and bigger than what it is or smaller than what it is.
mm,
So there cannot be no sense of competition. Neither are two actors playing the same part,
mm,
whether within a movie or in different movies. So there is no competition. But in sports, yeah, in sports, you've got the same course, every horse, and you jump the same course and you come out without dropping any poles or in least amount of time. That's a competition. So, yeah, I prefer competition in sports more than movies. Yeah.
Randeep, your sister is, she's a doctor. And at this moment, of course, in this country, if you see the current situation, people are dealing with and battling with COVID. And personally, you have also helped a lot of people. Talking about Khalsa Aid Foundation. Tell us something about that, and about the COVID crisis.
I had discovered Khalsa Aid when Khalsa Aid and many other people that I work with, Afroz and many other people, Mr. Jayani in Rajasthan. I was some years ago, I was going through this thing that every news you see on the television is bad news, and seems to be no goodness in the world. And I was sitting very frustrated on an aeroplane reading through the newspapers, and an elderly gentleman was sitting next to me, and he said, why are you feeling like this? I said, nothing one can do. Then he said, you can do something. You can't change the world, but you can change one thing at a time.
Mm,
So I went on this quest for looking for heroes without makeup.
mm,
And I found all these people, wonderful people like Khalsa. And then I've been working with them uh, for many years now. They have been all across the world. They have been helping people in all kinds of catastrophes and, bad situations, droughts, floods, earthquakes, war, displacement, So I put my head together with them. And last year it was more about food and shelter. This year is more about oxygen. So oxygen concentrators were decided upon, which can lessen the burden on the medical system. Because if you're just lacking oxygen, you don't have to get admitted. You can get a concentrator. We will provide it for you free of charge, and you use it. Once you're better, they take it away from you and give it to the next needy person. So I thought that was one way of helping it, changing one thing at a time. Of course, there are many other people who are doing it, and I'm very grateful. We should all be grateful. And this thing of wanting to do something good is in all of us. If you're feeling down in your house, the best thing to do is to help someone, whether it is in your community, in your building, in your neighborhood, or to work with a larger organization. So if you do like, it just makes you feel better. I feel better because I was very frustrated. I said, because you can't go on ground and do all these things. You'll be adding to the problem. You'll be needing a bed soon. So people who are already on ground volunteering, brave people could help them also. So that's how it came about. And I'm very grateful for one thing positive that's come out of this pandemic is that the fellow citizen, helping the fellow citizen has been immense. Humanity is there.
I completely agree with you about, when it comes to humanity, everyone is coming together and everyone is trying to help people as much as they can. And I've also seen a lot of, miracles happening during this phase of, also like it's a time where people are getting to spend time with their families. I somewhere feel some of them are getting time to spend with
Yeah, that's true. And also because like last year we saw in the lockdown, when it was a complete lockdown, nature was healing. I said one lesson to take from this pandemic is once this pandemic is over, still the world should go into a 2-week lockdown uh, so that an environment can heal. You know, every year should be a compulsory thing. Because all this is happening also because of our conflict with the environment. It's a zoonotic disease. Somebody went into the jungle and brought about an interaction with the natural world without the defenses that natural world provides. So that's why it's happening. So I think from this, we should learn that, we were not fighting for houses, apartments, air tickets, uh, automobiles. We were fighting for air. Where does it come from in its natural capacity? So we should all fight for nature and preserving it. Whatever is gone is gone. We should try and regenerate it. But put an absolute objection with your government, with your representatives, that you cannot destroy nature anymore, cannot exploit it anymore.
Randeep, of course, like in this pandemic, a lot of things have happened. Also, Bollywood has suffered loss, and it's not only Bollywood, even like international also that way. For you at this moment, in these 2 years, how things have changed for you?
Well, we can't go out as much and do the things, although one still does, but that's one thing. It's been more of an internal journey. One has gone back to the basics, gone back to the plays one started with, gone back to the feelings, why one wanted to be an actor in the first place. Read some books which one already has read, saw lots of movies which inspired you at that time. Where are they now? Watching a lot of new content on the Idiot Box. So yeah, it has been a more inward journey because there was more time to do so. But one has to work. I have worked through most of the pandemic. I've done a whole movie and half of a series. In fact, even completed Radhe, parts of it since then. And my parents were worried. They didn't want me to go out, but I said, okay, if I say yes to a project, 500 other people come on board and get a livelihood and come out of the depression that has engulfed us. So we are more brave and more together as people. I think that's what has changed, and same with me.
Mandeep, last year, you of course surprised us with Extraction. It was an action-oriented movie, and it was completely, that movie has, of course, earned also a lot on Netflix, and it's a movie which people talk about even now. Even now,
Watch movies last year.
and even actors love, even kids love to watch such movies about. What do you have to say about it, about this Hollywood film and working on that project?
Oh, I am very grateful that I was a part of it. A lot of time last lockdown went into giving interviews for it. And, for an artist, the biggest desire is to get across to as many people as possible. And that movie gave me an audience, or reached out to people across the globe, whether it's South America, China, Japan, wherever. It was everywhere. And so many people got to see my work, and I got a lot of appreciation for it. I'm very grateful that I got to work with such an amazing cast and crew. And, I was preparing for something else. For 3 years, I had not done any work. I'd grown a beard and my hair, and I had promised to the Golden Temple that I will not cut my kesh till this movie comes to its fruition. And then I tried to refuse that movie, but then I really opened my eyes a bit wider and looked at the situation. That movie was not going anywhere. So I went to the Gurdwara, apologized, and cut my kesh, and went on to this movie. And I didn't realize it's going to be such a big action film. I read the script, and there was description of action, but I didn't know it was going to be like that. So going there and starting from scratch, when they showed me the sequence the first day, I told the director, I said, "You sure?" But he said, "No, we really like your work. We've seen a lot of your work, and you've been cast for this. So let's go get down to it." So we rehearsed for 3-4 weeks before we shot it. Even Chris was there. So that was an eye opener. One used to see Rambo and all these movies. How do they make it? Well, that's how they make it. And it's also, of course, opened a lot of avenues for me over there to work, which I'm very grateful for.
You get reviews from your parents and your sister when you are working on a project. What kind of reviews do you get personally?
Oh, yeah. I get, you don't have to listen to everybody's opinion, but some opinions do matter, and my family is one of them. They know I try my best. I'm very sincere and truthful. So keeping that in mind, they are very appreciative of my work. My father watches it in very, minute detail, and with him I can discuss the variations in a person that I created vis-a-vis some other work, and it's engaging. It's glad to have your parents and sit and talk about your work and how you try to make a difference, and it's amazing.
Randeep, you also lost your horse during this pandemic. And
Yes, Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, and you also, but still you have, one horse with you, and
I have many horses, yes.
Yes. So tell us something about them, because that is something we keep on seeing on your, social media platform a lot. You do talk a lot about them, and you do, share about them. The news come out about them a lot. Tell us something about them.
Well, in school, I used to ride horses and act on stage. And now, still, I am riding horses and acting on stage or acting. And I feel that I really chose something which I really loved to do as a kid. And I was fortunate enough to have the means and the luck to get into it. Horses are one of those things. I mean, I still compete. It's been 2 years, but still I'm in competition form, and I compete in show jumping and dressage. So, and also always being around animals as a child, and especially horses. I used to ride in school. So it is part and parcel of my life. The horse does not give a shit about what reviews I got, or how much money my movie made, or what else is happening in my life. I go there and it is totally neutral and meditative. They react to me as to who I am at that moment. So it's a very refreshing, it's a very positive thing in my life to have horses. And in fact, one of my competing horses, Dream Girl, she's having a baby in the first week of June, which I'm really looking forward to. I hope the baby has the heart and kindness of Johnny Walker, who was with us for 16 years, taught so many people how to ride and to ride better, who served us so generously. And this generosity of these beings that cannot talk is something which touches me very deeply. So that's why the horses. But they're also sporting equipment.
Would you prefer a biopic on you?
On me?
And your journey?
I don't think I've achieved much to have a biopic on me.
But since 20 years, you have been in the industry, and you have your own ups and downs, and you have done so many movies and all, and you've done different roles. Would you prefer a film on yourself?
I don't know. I don't think people know much about me, really. I've been offered book deals and all that to pen my memoir. But no, I don't want to embarrass myself and others. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I have to do something drastic. I think there are far more interesting people to make biopics on in our industry than me.
Randeep, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I see myself straddling both worlds in Hollywood as well as Bollywood on a bigger scale. Hopefully, have a few more action movies out. I'm just, I didn't know that at 20 years down the line in my career, I'll become an action star, pandemic action star. So you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I hope to push the gamut in characterization, and I hope to push the gamut in entertainment, which probably is going to be an action thing because I'm not that very fond of dancing.
Randeep, do you also wish to be a producer someday? Like, do you wish to see a career over there?
Yeah, of course. After being around for so long, the jobs do overlap. I do see that, and I would have. I mean, there were things I wanted to make many years ago, which I would like to still attempt. So that's always on the cards, but I don't want to, commit myself too much to that so that my acting suffers. But if I can manage both in a way, find partners to do it, I think I might.
Randeep, talking about your, your career and your journey, of course, 20 years, and right now in this pandemic, also, of course, you're working a lot. I must say you're a workaholic. So, what kind of projects are you focusing on right now at this moment? Because I'm sure you
Oh,
have a lot of things.
there are some character study projects, some action projects, some from Hollywood, which I'm considering and trying to fit them in, and which can be committed to more than others. So that process is going on. I still have this web series to complete, and I have got other things lined up immediately after it, which I'm not sure whether I should talk about right now or not. But yeah, between Extraction and Radhe, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot more action work.
And talking about regional cinema, would you like to try a hand on regional cinema, because there the fan following is also completely different, but at the same time the kind of films they do. You have worked with the regional director for sure.
I have worked with directors from all over India, really, and their stories, all stories are human. About working in regional cinema, only if I can learn and speak the language. Otherwise, I don't know how one would express oneself unless you give me a role of a mute, which I would do rather well. But I have been offered a lot of roles around the country, especially from the southern part of the country. But I always feel apprehensive about not knowing the language well enough to go work in it. If someday I'm able to have time and something really comes along, for which I can spend and learn a whole new language, yes, I would love to. They make great movies. Yeah.
And what do you have to say about the change right now which is happening in the industry of movies coming on OTT platforms and not in theaters as much? What do you have to say on that? The last question for you.
Well, a lot of asses are being saved. But no, see, OTT is a different medium. Even I'm doing a series, and it's a lengthier medium in terms of the number of scenes involved. Like I was shooting this series, and I've already done 3 films, and there's still 3 more to go. So that part is a bit hard for me. It's proving a bit hard for me. But otherwise, you know, the theater going experience is unparalleled. When you go to the cinema and sit with other people in a darkened hall and watch a film infected by everybody's energy is a different feeling altogether. So I don't think that's going to die down. But yes, OTT has provided a lot of employment, if nothing else, to a lot of actors and technicians. And I'm very glad for that. More and more people work. It's like us having an IPL and then going on a world stage to play other countries in cricket. We've got such a big bank of things. So similarly, more and more people will get opportunities, more and more people will rise, and the overall quality will get better. But for me, cinema in the cinema is better. And I think with this hybrid release of Radhe, a new thing has come about, which is having this new system of releasing a movie, which has been done in the West, but never in India. And it has been tested out with Radhe. And which better film to test it out than a Salman Eid blockbuster? And I think it has worked very well. And I'm hoping that more and more movies will come that way till our theaters reopen.
Thank you so much for your time, Randeep, and for your patience. It
My
was nice
pleasure.
interacting with you. And before I
Patience
let
is more like it. I hope you have a nice day.